All right, we should be live. Hey guys, can we get a thumbs up, maybe a message in the chat box here just to make sure I'm being heard? Can I get a hoo-yah? Just want to make sure we can be heard. Okay, excellent. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thanks, guys. All right, appreciate it. Well, I'm excited about this. Quick introduction before we get going. My name is Brandon Hayes. I've been at Paladin for 7 years, and I've been in managed services the whole time. It's been an awesome journey. If you guys hear managed services, you've probably chatted with CJ. He's the man. Um, I work alongside him, and he's one of my mentors. He founded the department. When I came in, he was the one that kind of took me under his wing. He's been here 12, 13 years. And he has also been in the managed services department a vast majority of that time. So it's if you guys need anything, you call me and I forward you right to him. He so thanks for tuning in. I'm just going to chat a little bit about Paladin managed email. We actually, and forgive me, I'm referencing some notes here. We have 7 services in managed services. We're the guys who are in charge of antivirus. We're in charge of patch management, data-wise, system-wise, managed network services, pilot, the remote connection program. And then lastly, what we'll be talking about today is Office 365, Paladin managed email. So we'll talk about why it's important, how it works, and what it is. Notice some bullet points right here. This is Microsoft Office 365. Most of our clients, most of you guys have a Microsoft Office 365 subscription, so you're already familiar with the program. We're just going to build off of that. Okay. I've also highlighted the difference between desktop installs and email license. So most of you with the subscription have the desktop installs. We have 5 devices where we've installed these desktop installs: Word, Excel, Access, all of those desktop apps, for example. So now we're going to be talking about the email license and how that creates a Paladin managed email. Okay. So we're going to take a step back. Here's some fun numbers to talk about. When 10,000 foot view in general, just talking about email and the importance of it. So, I mean, 92% of people are using email. Listen, if email is not your preferred method of communication, it's definitely the people that you're doing business with, at least a vast majority of them. So emails where it's at. That's the game to play. And so we need to talk about our presence in the email environment, the security. And again, the next slide is going to talk about some numbers on when it comes to cybersecurity, and let's look at that right there. 94% of cyber attacks begin with malicious email. In our managed services department, we field calls all the time about phishing attacks, phishing scams, and a lot of the times our clients are in email. So we're seeing it all the time. This number right here, 120 emails daily. That's about right. The average employee gets 120 emails daily. If you're a business owner, you can probably double, triple that. It's a multi-billion-dollar business for the bad guys. 10.3 billion is the number that we got down there. So there was just a few more numbers for you. Okay. Email security, protecting the company's brand, reputation, and bottom line. So like I said, Microsoft Office 365 is the foundation. That is, we use Microsoft, we use Exchange. And so there are, there are protections built in. There are guidelines that are followed. When it comes to compliance, we hear all the time HIPAA compliance and PCI compliance, and email security is a really big deal. So the fact that we're using Microsoft Office, this is not servers that Paladin creates. This is not our email servers. This is Microsoft, and so it's good to know that with that company with that reputation that is as big as they are and as secure as they are, this is important stuff. This minimizing downtime. A lot of times we get calls about emails, being sent out of Paladin that it's not working. I can't send statements. I can't send invoices. I'm down. That's considered a store down in the Paladin world. Okay, that means we need to get you up and running. So how quick can we do that? Well, if we don't manage it, a lot of the times it could be hours, days, and so the fact that we manage this, we have control of this. If there were any issues and you were to go down, we can bring you back up that much quicker because we've got control over this whole process. Okay. It's very common for Gmail accounts to be used, Yahoo accounts to be used. They're free, and it makes sense. That is a very common thing, but you got to have a professional email. This example here is at AOL.com, and so what we would do is we would eventually replace that with one that looks professional, one that looks good. Again, this example is John at johnshardware.com. I think the most important thing here, and I think a big reason why clients get the managed email is one call for support. That's the biggest thing. You're calling Paladin. We get calls for everything a lot of the times anyways, so we might as well throw an email into that bucket. That's really where this came from, is email issues in Paladin, they're calling us. So we figured, okay, we might as well position ourselves where we can actually manage this, control this, help out our clients. So a few other bullet points there. Obviously, we're going to be using this for your invoices, for your quotes, for your purchase orders, everything that's getting sent out of Paladin. All right, we'll talk about how to set this up. Again, Microsoft Office 365, this is where this is going to start. We're going to talk about just some different subscriptions that include licenses. It's quite simple. I'll lay them out for you here, but Microsoft Office 365 is where we're getting started. So again, if you already have a subscription, you got your foot in the door. You're already on your way. We're rocking and rolling, and you're already paying a subscription. So most likely, we probably have to just upgrade your subscription, and then just most likely just a few bucks. We'll talk about the prices here in just a second. Desktop installs versus email license. Again, I'm going to reiterate this. Most of you have the desktop installs, right? That's the annoying pop-up messages, right? When you sign in from Teams or from Word, when you're trying to open it, that says your license is about to expire. Hey, sign in, activate, and you're calling us for all those desktop installs. That's what that is. So all we have to do is change your subscription, add an email license, and voila, you have Paladin managed email. Okay, it's that simple. Here's an example of what the Paladin email forms looks like. Okay, that's the email options. That's the configuration. So as you can see, we use Microsoft servers, not Paladin servers. It's just office365.com. Okay. So when I say we manage the entire process, there are domain DNS settings that we have to configure that allows the email to work properly in Paladin. Okay, we handle all that. There are records we have to add, stuff you don't even want to hear about, care about, CNAME records, text records, DMARC records, all this stuff that makes you secure. It keeps you protected. It makes sure that you're not being flagged for phishing. if you're constantly sending out invoices or constantly sending out email receipts. So there are records that we control on the back end to make sure that you're not getting blocked, you're not being limited, you're not being flagged as a restricted user. When you have Gmail or Yahoo, when you call us, I can't do anything to help you. We're extremely limited with what we can do. Okay, so we have control of this whole entire process, and it's worked beautifully. We're probably, I don't know, last year's when we really got this thing going with the Paladin managed email, and it works really great. Okay, 4 simple steps, you guys, on how to get this. The first thing, you need an email license. Like I said, most of you guys have an Office subscription. If you don't, it's fine, no big deal. We'll get you one. We just need to get you a subscription that includes an email license. It does matter how many you would like. If you have 2 emails that you would like to use, for example, john@organhardware.com, jane@organhardware.com, you would need 2 email licenses, okay? But for the sake of the example, we're gonna ride with 1. So we get you an email license. The second step is to purchase a domain, okay? You need a domain. For example, organhardware.com, right? paladinpos.com. Those are domains. So if you don't have one, you need to purchase one. It is common that a lot of our clients do own the domain. They already say, hey, I have a website that's being managed. I already have organhardware.com. I already own the domain. Awesome. Step 2 is done. Here's the important thing though. If you have a domain and you want Paladin managed email, the first thing I'm going to ask you for is we're going to need access into the domain settings, okay? So if you purchase, for example, if you purchase that domain from GoDaddy, okay, then we need to get into that GoDaddy account to access those domain DNS settings, okay? So it's great that you own the domain, but please have access to it to get into the account if you want Paladin managed email, okay? Step number 3, we tie the 2 together. I have an email license and I have a domain. Now I'm Brandon H at paladinpos.com, right? I'm Joe at organhardware.com, right? Step number 4, slap it in Paladin. It's that simple, which the slide before I gave you a snapshot of what that looked like. You just configure Paladin with the new email and we're off to the races. So it's quite simple to get set up with an email license. Somebody just asked me the other day, they said, well, how quick can I get set up with this? And my response was in a day. We can get you set up with this and going in the same day. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the domains. If you don't have a domain, that's fine. You need to get one. Paladin, we are GoDaddy resellers, okay? So we use Microsoft for the email license and we use GoDaddy for the domain. So we're Microsoft GoDaddy partners, okay? This is our website to purchase a domain. It's called domains.paladinpos.com. So you can browse this website right now. And if you look in that snapshot in that photo, there's a little field, little search field, where you can type in the domain that you're interested in. For example, organhardware.com. Is that available? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it'll tell you. Most of these domains are only 18 bucks a year. You guys, it's virtually, I mean, over, I don't know, over $1 a month. I'm not that good with math, but it's something that you can lock in. 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. I think there may be a max on how long you can purchase that domain for. But it's easy. It's just add it to the cart if it's available, run through the checkout process, and you own a domain. Okay, it's that simple. There is a one-time setup fee to tie all of this together. Okay, and it's a one-time fee for 150 bucks. However, if you purchase the domain through this website, domains.paladinpos.com, then that setup fee is waived. Okay, the setup fee is waived. The reason that there's a setup fee is because we have to get into your existing domain. We have to add records. We may be familiar with the user interface, we may not. So we need to figure out how we're gonna make it play well together. Okay, so there are some time that will require, you know, adding these DNS records if you already have a domain. Okay, so I hope that made sense. Okay, so here are the 3 Microsoft subscriptions. Okay, the first one that you see there is apps for business. Those are the desktop installs. A vast majority of our clients already have this. Okay, the second one is an email license for $7. Okay, if you want 1 email license, that's what you would get. A business basic license, that's simple. If you wanted both of them, then you're going to get the business standard. That's the desktop installs plus an email license. Okay, so you can get them individually, or you can purchase a subscription where both of those come together. Okay. This is a handy tool. This is the email manager, and when it comes to customers or suppliers, you have an email list, right? That you add to them. The email list has been in their account for, you know, since you set them up, whatever the case may be. But this right here will allow you to fire off emails straight from this window. You can type in new ones, or you can select the ones that are already listed there that you've added in the past. Just keep in mind this feature does need to get set up by Paladin support. This is not a managed services feature to set up this email manager option. So you can call support for that, and they can help you out. Okay, but this is just another, you know, this is another feature, just another cherry on top here of what you can do with the Paladin managed email. Okay. All right, awesome. Well, that was fast. I'm on the Q&A. So if you guys, there's any questions that you guys have that you want to type into the box, feel free. We're gonna, you know, take a few minutes here to wrap this up and kind of give you some time to ask some questions if there are any. Let's see what else we got in here. Some resources to be aware of in our retail science library. Crisis management plans, and it's October Cybersecurity Month, so there's some ransomware articles in there. This webinar is being recorded, so you can catch it at a later time. It'll be posted at the usual portal.paladinpos.com/webinars website. We got a question here. Is there a limited number of mailboxes we can set up? You can set up as many as you'd like. You just would have to purchase the email licenses that go along with it. That just reminded me of something. Thank you for this question, because that just reminded me of something. This is important. So no, the question to your answer before I move on is no. You can get as many mailboxes as you'd like. What if you already have professional email? For example, I already own Brandon at OregonHardware.com, but it's with these guys over here, and for whatever reason, I want to switch, I want to change. Whether they're going out of business, I'm not happy with them, whatever. Can Paladin take over that professional email? Yes, yes, we can. It's going to require a little more work, okay? Because we have to do what's called a migration and a transfer. Okay, so we basically have to take your professional email off of those platforms, and we need to bring them over to our platforms. Okay, so it's possible, we've done it. How long would we be able to get that? That's going to be a few days. okay? Because there are, when you release a domain and you transfer a domain from one registrar to another, there's like a minimum of at least 1 to 4 days for that to free up. Same thing with the, the email licenses that you're moving over. So if you already have professional email and you would like Paladin to manage it, it is possible. Okay, like I said, it's going to require a little bit more work, but we can do it. Okay, so thank you again for that question. That reminded me to bring that up on that migration, on that transfer. Any other questions? Let's see what else we got in here. All right, next webinar in a couple of weeks. So 2 Tuesdays from now, 9 a.m. Same time and same site. Okay, excellent. Expand your knowledge. Paladin University, baby. Sweet. All right, so if there's not any other questions, then we will sign out. And feel free and call me. My number, extension 7066. So 1-800-PALADIN, my extension 7066, and my email, brandonh@paladinpos.com. Anybody in managed services can chat with you about this. Okay? Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. Have a productive day.